Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the People Processes Podcast. I'm your host, Rami Alijil, and today we're going to be doing some law updates. This week we'll have a few of these. I'm going to be going through the states one by one. There's lots of updates happening in August, and I just want to kind of hit on them and walk you through some of the major changes. We'll be utilizing a screen share to do so let's take a look. First up, California unemployment insurance. They've issued, as of the statement of changes. There's a bunch of information here. Basically, tax-rated employers are going to receive relief from unemployment insurance benefit charges related to COVID-19. This is important. We get this question a lot, like, hey, all these people who I had to lay off, when we get back up, is our unemployment insurance going to go through the freaking roof? No, that's okay. California and many states are following with a similar thing, where they're not going to count COVID claims against you as an employer. That's a big deal. Now, let's go on to the next. Colorado labor relations. We're going in order alphabetically, by the way. In Colorado, there's been an interesting thing. There's a new Colorado Partnership for Quality Jobs and Services Act. It was enacted to provide state employees with the right to self-organization. So basically, those of you who are city governments, state governments, or at times state contractors, there are new laws around union organization, okay, that went into effect July 1. Take a close look. You have to, among other things, it includes the right to refrain from any or all such activities, which is a little different, without interference, restraint, or coercion by the state or employee organization. So this law gives more freedom to your employees to not participate in unions. It's a very interesting law. Check it out if this applies to you. Colorado also has a new Paid Sick Leave Act. The Healthy Families and Workplaces Act creates paid sick leave in Colorado. Under the new law, upon hire, employees begin accruing paid sick leave at the rate of 1 hour for every 30 hours worked up to 48 hours. Unlike other jurisdictions that require a waiting period before employees may use paid sick leave, the Colorado Act entitles employees to use paid sick leave immediately upon accrual. Accrued sick leave carries over from year to year up to a maximum of 48 hours, but employers may choose to limit usage to 48 hours per year. So if they carry over 48 and then they're accruing 48 in the next year, they could wind up with double that, 96, right? But you can limit usage to 48 hours per year if you choose to. They use them for sick leave, and they list out the reasons on there. It does include mental health and caring for a family member who has a mental or physical need. In addition to the paid sick leave accrued by the employee, the Act requires an employer to provide its employees an additional amount of paid sick leave during the public health emergency in an amount based on the number of hours the employee works. So this is on top of FFCRA. Very important to understand there. Interestingly, also Colorado has changed their unemployment insurance effective July 1. The weekly benefit amount is $590. There is an alternative method that can get you to $649. The minimum is $25. They've increased the taxable wage base as well. This is very important for your budgeting next year. Let's say you have a rate of 2.7% over in Colorado for unemployment. In 2021, $13,600. The first $13,600 in wages will be taxed. After that, 2022, $17,000, 2023, $20,400, on and on, until 2026, where it's going to be $30,600, adjusted by the change in the average weekly earnings. This is a big deal. This effectively doubles the rate. Right now, you guys are well under $13,000, and by 2026, you'll be at above $30,000. So your percentage rate matters, but the wage base matters more. If you have employees who all have been making, say, an average of $40,000 or $50,000 in the last few years, even if you had a rate of 2 or 3%, it was only on the first 11,000 or so. Now that we're going to 13, 17, 20, this expense will go up. So you need to think about what that means for your hiring and budget in Colorado. There's also some updates on their whistleblower protections. They've enacted a new law, the Workers' Right Related to Public Health Emergency, that prohibits employers from discriminating, retaliating, or taking any adverse action against an employee who raises a concern about workplace health and safety practices related to a public health emergency. This includes specific relief for whistleblowers who have exhausted administrative remedies to allow for civil action for a violation of the law on behalf of the state in district court. So that's a big deal. In addition, the law prohibits employers from discriminating, retaliating, so on and so forth, because the employee voluntarily wears at the employee's workplace the worker's own personal protective equipment. This is different than many places in the country. If you must allow an employee in Colorado to wear their own PPE, or you can't fire them for it, you can't send them home for it, you cannot take any adverse action for them wearing their own PPE. Okay, as long as it does not render the worker incapable of performing his or her job or position. So, for example, I don't know, maybe they want to wear an entire hazmat suit, but it won't fit in the truck. They can't do that, right? But in most cases, Colorado has now enacted this law, which is very important. It means that you cannot tell them, hey, you can't wear your own stuff. Moving on, Connecticut. The minimum wage in Connecticut will be increasing to $12 per hour on September 1, 2020, per a scheduled increase. They are not waiving it. Keep that in mind if you have any employees in Connecticut. And that is it for our quick review here. Oh, I didn't realize my camera had turned off. The other states we'll be going through over this week, we'll be going in alphabetical order. We'll be hitting Wyoming, all the way through Wyoming. So there are many things. I apologize for the funny video. If you have employees in multiple states, you need to have a way to keep abreast of those changes. We call that a compliance system. It checks what you do, the actual actions you take, to see if you're complying with your internal policies, and it checks your policies to make sure they're complying with changing laws. This can be accomplished many ways. You could have a lawyer review all of your company policies once a year, and a CPA or an attorney review your company's actions every month. That's how big companies do it. It's very expensive, but it does work. Alternatively, you can utilize automated systems around software that keep your policies up to date and inform you every month about changes relevant to your employees, generate change notices, and then distribute it out to your employees. That's what we do. If you need any help with things like this, please contact peopleprocesses.com. If nothing else, subscribe on there so that you can get free updates like this, both through our podcast and through our newsletter. And if you will, if you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, wherever, listening on a podcatcher, please like, subscribe, and review. Comment down below if you have any questions and you'd like us to follow up more in depth. We will be doing a few of these updates. We try not to, I know they're very boring, especially if we don't have employees in Colorado. So we're going to just hit on them very quickly, normally 3 days a month, something like that, just to keep everybody abreast of those changes. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Rami Alijill, and I very much appreciate you being here. Now it's time for you to go out there, have a great day, and get your work done. I'll see you later.